right, boys and girls, let's get this show on the road. It's the moment you've been waiting for. The big get. Clott Adams, also known as the Dilbert Guy, also known as Vax Adams, also known as Clott Adams, also known as Boomer, is on the screen, boys and girls. And you know what happens if you're on my screen. It is the end of your life. Now, this is the Dilbert Guy. You probably have read the comic Dilbert at some point in your life. This is the man who created this comic. I had a little trouble finding this clip in my show notes because the title of it is just Freak Show. But this is a man who has made his reputation on being a fantastic cartoonist. He is a pretty good writer, too. He's not a great writer, but he is a fantastic cartoonist. He's literally... And I'm not trying to be facetious here. I'm not trying to insult or downgrade or be sarcastic. He is legitimately an incredible cartoonist. The dude is literally in the top 3. You know, obviously he's not the best. You got the Peanuts, much better than him, obviously. You got Garfield. Garfield, I'd say, is a little lower than Dilbert. Dilbert has a little bit more thought than Garfield. And, you know, maybe he's not top 3. You know, Calvin and Hobbes had really great art. I think that you'd have to debate between those 4, I think is, but he's in the cloud of the top 4 comics of all time. And by the way, by his own words, this has made him filthy rich. He says openly, bragging to the world, that he has fuck you money, meaning that he can do whatever he wants, say whatever he wants, and not worry about it because he has enough money to not worry about things. And that's why you should believe him. And as he's gone through with this attitude of, I have fuck you money, I can say what I want, and I'm the greatest cartoonist, I made Dilbert. But for some reason, it's not enough. For some reason, there's something in his heart that's just still not fulfilled. You know, he's an 80 to 90-year-old man, I would guess, by looking at him. He's got a girlfriend who's in her, 19 years old, maybe? Very, very young, very disgusting, maybe kind 20. Of a creepy vibe going on there. Very, very unattractive in the sense of his wife, not saying she's unattractive. She's a beautiful woman, but very unattractive. The idea of, you know, essentially this George Soros-esque person who's, you know, robbing the cradle, really. Kind of disturbing. But beautiful wife, rich, successful in his art. He's got everything you could want, but for some reason, he's so sad and so depressed and so depraved. Why? Why is he so angry with all the blessings in the world? Well, I figured it out, and it has to do with his audio. Now you know, Tyler, come on. His audio is a small little nitpicky thing that you've latched onto that yes, it's true, we get it, but come on. His audio isn't that big a deal, right? No, it is that big a deal. First off, the reason it's a big deal, this man is a millionaire. He has told us repeatedly he's a genius. Keep in mind, this man used to go around touring to businesses. He would go to corporations, put on a little show, dress up with a pre-written 45-minute script, say the exact words line for line, where he would tell people directly to the crowd, I, Clott Adams, am a genius. I have an IQ of 135. I am a genius. You should trust what I say. That's this man, okay? With millions of dollars, being a genius, and a failed tech startup, he still can't get his audio to work. And rather than accept the fact that you're a boomer, and that's okay, just go pay an intern $50 to set it up for you, buddy. You know, the whole suite. You want to do a professional job? Go pay someone $2,000, give them $3,000 for equipment. You're going to be looking like Mr. Beast by the end of the month. This is 100% doable for you. Now, am I saying everyone should go out there and spend that kind of money? No, I'm saying him specifically. He says he's a millionaire. He does this every day. He's investing his time. Why aren't you investing in your product? Instead, he's got 2 iPads crazy glued to a block of wood, and he's sitting here trying to set up his audio and can't get the audio to work because he's got one audio jack that he's sticking in with a little tiny lava mic, and he can't figure out why his audio's crap. But he won't fix it. And that's not the worst part. The part that I spotted was that all the things that I just said are true. And he won't admit it. That's the problem. He has a philosophical predisposition that the concept of truth doesn't exist. And this is why audio is so important, because the audio is objectively bad. His audio is not good. That is the truth. And Clott Adams, Dilbert Guy, Boomer, there is truth. The truth exists. There is reality. And the reality is you're a boomer and your audio is crap. Now, we haven't checked on him in about 6 months or so. So I'm sure he's probably fixed his audio by now. Let's take a look at one of his more recent episodes here. This is the start of the show, people.
Me on YouTube.
Start of the show.
My iPad devices.
Multi-millionaire genius.
Have the new software. They're crashing when I try to use YouTube.
Oh, software's crashing,
and
everyone.
It's a sudden problem that's across multiple devices. And I don't know if it's organic. So I was just trying to figure out working.
So that's the start of his show. That's the start of his audio. So he still has the same exact audio problems that he had in the beginning. And you know what, Boomer? I curse you with more audio problems. They're coming. I can feel them in the air. And this is why I am so angry at Boomer. And this is how I predicted his demise. Is it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how beautiful your wife is. It doesn't matter how successful your career is. If you do not have the logos, if you do not have the truth in your heart, you cannot become great. Clott Adams is a filthy, dirty liar. In fact, everything he's ever said is a lie. Because by his own philosophy, he doesn't believe in truth. So if he doesn't believe there is truth, everything, by definition, he says, is a lie. And that's why I got angry at Mr. Boomer. And so I calmly and concisely stated that opinion on his comment section. He called us Chinese paid trolls. He says that the Chinese government, he slandered me, by the way, said that Chinese government trolls are paying me money to be a troll for his channel. That was literally his accusation. His audio is fine. Nothing is wrong with it. I, of course, declared that he would fall to pieces. He would be destroyed. And, well, why don't we fast forward just about a year later to catch you guys up here. What is Boomer ranting about this time? Well, for some reason, this deluded man has spent the last 2 years of his life. Well, it's actually pretty clear what happened. So Clott Adams is famous for failing to predict things. That's one of his most famous qualities, is he's very, very bad at making predictions. He claims to be a master persuader, a hypnotist, and a master of predictions. That's one of his big claims to fame. Now, keeping in mind, guys, I'm a marketer, I'm an advertiser, and I'm a mentalist at the Magic Castle. So if anyone was going to go and claim such things, it'd be a guy like me. And I'm not making those claims. You know why? Because I'm not a loser. I'm not a freak. I'm not a cave-dwelling, hey guys, I'm actually special. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, God, he's disgusting. But he failed to predict the Trump getting elected. I correctly predicted Trump getting elected, by the way, and 2016. And he failed to predict Trump getting elected in 2016 and then proceeded to lie and say that he did predict it, because what he did is it's an old fake psychic trick. You go and you say, I predict Trump will get elected. And then later on in the show, I'll say, I think Hillary Clinton will get elected. And then I just cut the one that worked and put that up online. So he's doing that here, but he's not open about it. He's a liar, like we mentioned before. So he fails to predict Trump getting elected, lies and says he was. Well, in 2020, Trump comes along. He predicts yet again. Now he's saying Trump is going to get elected, but this time he thinks he's ballsy. He says he does fake psychic trick number 2. So what's fake psychic trick number 1? You just say both and you edit out the one that was wrong, right? Well, fake psychic trick number 2 is you just predict what's obviously going to happen. So he's convinced that this is going to happen. And so he goes and says, oh, guys, you know what? 100% Trump's going to win. I got it in the bag. And as you know, we were taken over by a dictatorship and we're currently run by a dictator. So Trump didn't get elected. And rather than acknowledge the fact that once again, he was wrong, he decided to spend the next 2 years of his life doing nothing but talking about vaccines. That's literally the only thing he talked about for about 2 years. You could pick any one of his episodes within the last 2 years. Just try this yourself. Scroll through and just pick an episode, watch 5 minutes of it, see if he doesn't say the word vaccine at least 2 or 3 times. The dude is obsessed with vaccines. But for whatever reason, he's decided that now he's against mask mandates. So he doesn't want to put masks on people's faces, but he does want people to inject themselves with a very dangerous chemical cocktail so that him and his elderly, frail state can be okay if he catches the cold. So very strange. And what he's talking to now is a guy coming in saying, look, dude, I think that we're going to be wearing masks into February 1st. And Boomer here says he's going to use his master hypnosis persuasion powers. Yes, that's a quote. Well, not a quote, but that's his words. He calls himself a master persuader, not a masturbator. I know it's very similar. This masturbator hypnotist is able to change the mask mandates in California. Now, keep in mind, he lives in California still, so he's in a slave state. These people still wear masks. They're still doing toxic injections. Nowhere else in America is it like that except New York and California. Those are the Nazi centers of America, and so he lives in like Nazi headquarters, basically. And so they're still wearing masks. They're still injecting themselves. They're still locking down. That's what the Nazi states are like. He says he's going to use his masturbator hypnosis powers to cause the mask mandates to go away on February 1st. Now, keep in mind, he just went on Twitter and saw that there was a trending thing for people to take their mask off on February 1st. He's trying to say it was him who did it. He's not the one who did it. That's beside the point. What is the point is that he has claimed that he's going to make the mask mandates go away, and as you're going to see as a growing trend, his audience has saw what I have to say, and they agree with me. They've seen the truth. People who are fans of Clott Adams now know he's a filthy liar, and they've seen through his little charade because of me. And so his audience is starting to turn on him. So now with all that recap, let's listen to one of his audience members call him out and say, Scotty boy, listen, it ain't happening, bud. They're still wearing masks in California past February 1st. It's going to happen. By the way, they're all still wearing masks.
I could bet with you that the government wants to unwind this as fast as you do. It just doesn't quite know how. Or it's not quite time yet, I suppose, would be another way to say it. And I don't have any worry that you're going to be wearing masks forever. Like none. But if you do, let's just agree to check on it in a year. If we're wearing masks in a year, number one, you won't have to worry about me because I'll put a bullet in my fucking head.
Whoa! He's openly saying he's going to commit suicide on YouTube? That's not allowed. You can't do that, Boomer. Boomer.
Like a community violation.
That's a community violation. That's a threat on his life. He just said he's going to take a gun, put it to his head, and kill himself if people are still wearing masks in California in a year. And what I have to say to that is, all right, woo! Talk about content. That would be the best episode Scott Adams has ever put out. Can you imagine the views that he would get on that? We got to hold him true. California, stay strong. Keep those masks up. Mask up, California. Mask up. Yeah, if I see even a nose, I want every person whose nose is sticking out, send it an airstrike. I want every one of those non-masking Californians to blow to pieces. Out of here. We have to do this for the greater good, people. This has to happen. It's for the greater good. You have to give up your rights, give up your freedom, give up everything that you know to be beautiful, good, and true so that we can stay masked up in California and we can watch Scott Adams deliver on his promise. But does that sound like the words of a man who is happy? Does that sound like the words of a man who's fulfilled in his life? Does that sound like someone who's living in a mansion off of the royalties of a comic that he spends 30 minutes a day working on, or an hour? I can't remember what he said. It was an extremely small amount of time. I don't think so. I don't. There's something dark here. And the reason why is because he doesn't have the truth. He doesn't have truth. And that's what I find so bizarre. Because keep in mind, this is a man who claims he was going to use his masturbator hypnosis powers to get Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, impeached. He was going to have him recalled. He was going to use his masturbator powers. Well, guess what? Gavin Newsom's still in office, didn't get impeached. He said he was going to use these master persuader powers to destroy China. China's on the rise. He said he was going to use his masturbator hypnosis powers to make Russia our allies. We're now at the brink of war. This is a man who has failed to do everything that he claims consistently. The problem is, because he doesn't believe there's truth, he doesn't think that's wrong. He doesn't think that it's not true. Because he's deluded himself into thinking the concept of truth isn't real. So when he fails all these things, he says, oh, no, that's not true because actually it was true because if you think about it from this perspective, no, Scott, you said your audio is great and fine, and anyone who says it isn't is a troll. Your audio isn't great. Your audio isn't fine. They are not trolls. And that is the core problem. If you're offended by abuse, cruelty, evil, hatred, then you probably want to turn this show off now because let me tell you, Boomer checks every one of those boxes. It is dark what he has been doing to his own audience. 4551, this is him addressing someone in his own audience who just makes a humble comment. Okay, so this new thing that he has mentioned is, now keep in mind, God, look at him. He looks like a snake. Doesn't he look like a snake? I'm sorry. This is a little tangent, but let's get in the zoom feature here. Doesn't that man look snaky? Ooh. You know those memes? They have the conspiracy guys. They're all about the reptile people. I kind of see what they're saying. Look at those dead eyes. Look at those dead eyes.
Slightly different direction.
That very effeminate lips there. Yikes. Is he wearing makeup? Oh my God. Does Dilbert wear makeup to his... I think he's wearing a little lip balm there. Wow. Yeah, that is just a very lizard, reptilian-like creature. I get what the conspiracy theorists are saying when they call people reptiles. Wow, wild guy.
All right, so I'm going to say,
Oh, right. I was telling you, what is he talking about in this topic? So what happened here is, so Scott Adams, being a person who doesn't believe in truth, says that you can figure out what things are true by asking yourself, really? 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 Is that really true? Really? Really? Is that really true? Really? And he does that for about 35 seconds to try and convince himself that it's true or not. So, as you can imagine, he does this show every day. The small remainder of his audience that still tunes in is like, dude, could you just shut up with the really thing already? We get it. And this is his response.
Really practical or possible that you haven't seen an interview with a doctor, an actual doctor, who just said, fuck it.
Peasant language.
All the doctors in the country, you can't find one doctor to go on TV and say, look, I had to quit the hospital. Look what they made me do. How hard would it be for that doctor to get another job?
Keep in mind, he's been saying really for about 3 minutes in this clip already. This is the tail end. I spared you.
You'd be a hero. He or she will be a hero.
Oh my gosh, implicit bias. Did you hear that? He assumed the doctor was a man. Archers, take him out. Good work. Good work. We have to have people publicly executed for such horrible, horrible crimes. If you assume a doctor is a man, I think I watch a lot of CNN, and they told me you kill people on sight if they do that.
Right? Stop with the really crap.
There we go. Okay, so he says genuine. Great comment from the chat section. Comes in and says, stop with the really crap. That sounds like a Tyler comment if I've ever heard one. That guy's been studying the show. That's exactly how I like to leave comments. Short, succinct, get to the point, attack, tell the truth.
No, I think the really test is useful. I know it's annoying, but it is useful.
Oh, I know it's annoying. It's
because
truthful.
if you can say the really thing and it still makes sense, it tells you something.
Oh, what does it tell you, Boomer? Does it tell you if it's true? Because you said that's not real.
All right. So I'm going to say I'm going to go against all of you. I think really 100% of you. Actually, let me see if anybody agrees with me.
No one agrees with you, Boomer. We can't. You don't believe in anything.
Scott is losing touch with reality.
Boom! Oh, that a great, great comment. These guys, I have trained his audience well. Before, they used to be sending him rebuttals. They would go out and they would write these like, Scott, I really think that you need to reconsider your opinion on things. This just doesn't seem right. I do think things are true. For example, your audio is crap. Now it's just succinct to, Scott, you're losing touch with reality, man. Boom! Right in the face.
All right. Robert, I'm going to block you.
Blocks him. Blocks him for that.
With nothing to offer the world.
An asshole with nothing to offer the world. Can you think of a more accurate and poignant thing to say to Scott Adams than that? You've lost touch with the world. That's exactly what he has done. He can't predict things that are obviously going to happen. He has been wrong across the board, and he doesn't even know that truth exists. What is a more accurate comment than you've lost touch with reality? Scott, that's the truth.
If your response to me is just an insult with no anything else, that is just cognitive dissonance.
You're a boomer. Moving on.
It is. If you give me a reason.
The reason you're a boomer is that you're elderly and can't work with technology. Happy!
Then I'd say, oh, there's a person with a different opinion. But if you just insult me, you just give me a writ.
Oh, okay. So then by his own admission, I am great. Because is there anything that you could describe my show as other than multiple, very logical, true reasons? In fact, you could describe every single problem I have with someone. 100% of them originate with reason. I'll admit it. Maybe I have a little bit of a problem. Maybe I'm a little obsessed with the truth. Maybe it's part of my personality. I don't know. I think people, and this is maybe this is me being crazy. Maybe I am a crazy guy. I admit it. But I think that people who violate the truth are doing very dark things to the world. world. There's a reason there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. It's because I'm playing pretend. That's fine. It's fine to play pretend. You know, I'm not sitting in a movie theater being like, that guy's playing a Nazi. He's a real Nazi. I know it. No, he's clearly playing a character. I get that. That's totally fine. When you present yourself to the world as someone who's not playing a character, you need to hold yourself to the standard of trying to tell the truth. And when you don't, I think it literally breaks reality. I think that you hurt people. I think you hurt yourself. I think that everything that is bad in life usually stems from a violation of the truth. So that is what I have a problem with. People who lie. And so when I attack Clott Adams, he is admitting right now that Tyler is 100% okay with his criticisms. He is happy that I'm giving him these critiques, and that makes him a happy person. So that's what we need to take away from this particular clip.
Any attention whatsoever. So if you'd like to prove yourself completely worthless, just put in a mindless, flailing insult to show that you have nothing to offer the world. You know, just advertise your...
So this is Boomer telling one of his few dedicated, loyal followers that they are worthless, their opinion means nothing, and that they have no value to offer the world at all. That's what he is saying to his own people.
Fucking uselessness right now. Please. If there's anybody else who wants to be a useless piece of shit.
Is this your leader? Is this your leader? If you watch Clott Adams, is this who you follow? Is this who you're going to die for? Absolutely not. Execute him on sight. Metaphorically speaking.
Step up. I'd like to see you flailing away with your dumb little insults, adding nothing to the world. Go ahead.
You heard him, guys. Go in there and send mindless insults. Don't have reasons. Just insult him. He loves it.
All right. You know nothing about the medical industry.
Oh!
John, you're going away for being an asshole.
What? What? So you're claiming you do know the medical industry? You're a cartoonist. You don't know crap about it. What are you talking about? See, that's the difference between you and me. I just have a wild opinion and I do what I want to do. I don't come out and say, you should do what Tyler does. I admit it. I'm a crazy guy. I'm a wild dude. I just do what I feel like and I come up with rationalizations for it and I try to be logical when I want to be. But you know what? Sometimes logic's not fun. Sometimes I just have fun and I just live my life, Boomer.
Because none of us know everything about the medical industry.
He didn't say that!
I'm only relying on other people.
By the way, this is how I watch Clott Adams every morning. You can, OPVs, can you attest to this? This is my morning. This is how I drink coffee in the morning, and I just screech at Boomer.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it's quite wild. This is, so, Scotty boy, because, come on, we all know he's listening. He's gonna listen. He listens to he's got a Google search notification. Anytime his name pops up on anything, it's going in his inbox. Exactly. He's that kind of guy. Scott, this is how most people are watching your show. Most people are watching your show because they hate you. They hate your guts. They watch you to mock you and ridicule you. Just know that. Just realize that fact. The moment you guys have been waiting for. Now, again, I've given a few disclaimers on this, people. This is going to get graphic, what you're about to witness. This is one of his own audience members, an innocent woman. Her name's Shellie. Didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to play you the clip. I'm going to let you see what happens, let you form your own opinion. But before we move into that, I think it's really important, once again, just to stress and emphasize. This is the guy who wrote Dilbert, who writes Dilbert. This is a Dr. Seuss level author. This is a man of fame and esteem. He is rich. I want you to just put yourself in a space right now. Imagine if Tolkien or if Dr. Seuss was caught on camera doing this to one of the people on a book tour.
That's actually a good reason.
Shellie just walks up to the book tour. Keep in mind, Dr. Seuss asked for feedback and critique, and Shellie provided it to him. And this is his response.
And by the way, this is, I've told you before, one of the ways to know if your own opinion is good is if you can write it down and it still makes sense. So there was a case of somebody who could write it down very short way. That's all you needed. So if you can write it down.
So see, he's actively asking people, please give me your critiques. Tell me how I can improve. He's asking for that feedback.
It makes sense. You have a coherent opinion. But if you can't write it down.
And the reason I stress that, this isn't like just, a troll showed up in the chat to tell him that he's a terrible person. He specifically showed up and said, please give me your feedback. Please tell me what you think.
And all you say is stuff like, I'm stupid. You probably didn't have a coherent opinion. You only read the monkey comments. We've been screaming this at you for 10 minutes.
Oh, active racism. He said the word monkey. As we all know, most racist thing you could ever say. Send in an airstrike. Take it out. Aim for the Dilbert. Aim for the Dilbert. Oh, gosh, right in the middle of his little apartment. Oh, I mean, I guess it's a mansion. He has a mansion shaped like Dilbert. Wow. Yikes. Good work, boys.
What's the monkey? Oh, the money comments. You only read the money comments. We've been screaming this at you for 10 minutes. What money comments? Here's Shellie. Scott's $1,000 life is short. We all know you got.
Okay, here we go. Here's Shellie. Sorry. Here we go. Here's Shellie.
Scott's $1,000 life is short. We all know you got duped by COVID because your friends scared you into trying to save the world.
So this is a good example. Shellie, constructive feedback, take it or leave it. We're going to need to punch that up a little bit. Okay, it's a little long. It's a little wordy. Let's get a little bit more concise. The first part, I'm not really understanding what you're even going for there. His $1,000 day, I don't know what you're going with there, but the point is she's being kind. I don't think she's clearly not a professional troll. I think she's a genuine fan. She's watching the show. She sees Scott and says, look, Scott, here's the deal, man. We've been watching you for 2 years. You were wrong about the vaccines. It's okay. We're okay with that. Could you just, it doesn't matter who's right. It doesn't matter who's wrong. Could you just stop, please? And just admit that you're wrong, and we will forgive you. We will forgive you. Just please, could you pick a different topic? I don't want to keep tuning in to hear the same thing every day about you just talking over and over again about vaccines. Could you please stop? That's all Shellie's saying. Let's see how he responds.
Time to apologize. We'll accept it. We're running out of patience. Shellie, fuck you, you stupid cunt.
Oh!
Let me say that. You are a piece of fucking shit. Do not tell people what they think and then insult them in public. All right? You can tell me what you fucking think, you small-minded piece of crap.
Oh!
Tell me what I think and then insult me in public when you're fucking wrong. Because here's the thing. I was definitely scared about civilization, but that's not...
Oh, he thinks he was saving the world? Oh, my God.
Getting a vaccination, because that scare came long before the vaccinations were available. And by the time the vaccinations were available, I wasn't afraid of the civilization failing. So you got your facts wrong, you got your timing wrong, you got your thinking wrong, and you're a fucking piece of shit.
He wrote Dilbert! This is the Dr. Seuss! This is the Dr. Seuss of comics, people. He just ridiculed this woman for the most mundane and kind thing. She was so genuine, so loving, and he just lost his mind on her. Can you believe this?
You know what?
Holy crap. Holy crap. My God. What an... this man is broken. At least, you know, it's not like this has become an international crisis and that there's people making folk songs about him or anything. Or is there? This very introverted guy who's based in Italy named Vox Day put together a folk song for Clott Adams. So we're going to go ahead and give that a play for you guys here. If you want to give him a subscribe, I don't know why. This guy's name is John Bradley. He's got an American flag. This is not the guy who is Vox Day. I don't know who he is. I don't understand how it is a part of his life. Maybe this is like his musician buddy. Not sure, but let's see what he wrote for Scotty Boy.
I hate the world tonight. Shellie said that I was wrong, but I was right.
That's Shellie.
Tried to tell you, but you seemed to think that maybe I said something incorrect. I say you project, don't hallucinate. If you think I'm wrong, I'll just equivocate. I can understand how you'd be so confused. I don't envy you. I'm a prophet and an oracle of perfect persuasion. You're a bitch, you're a cunt, you're cognitive dissonant. You're a nasty human stain, and you should be ashamed.
Roast
You're
him.
a total narcissist, you fucking piece of shit, and so you better shut up, go the hell away. Don't you know who I am?
Do you know how happy?
This may mean you'll have
Do you know how happy it makes me to know that I was a part of this downfall? That this was the origins of the downfall of Scott, where there's people in Italy making folk songs about how crappy he is.
Amazing.
Oh, God, this is a dream.
Try to understand.
This is why this show exists, people.
Rest assured that when you think I contradict half the things that I predict, tomorrow they will change. Yesterday's won't mean a thing. You're a bitch, you're a cunt.
Need a lighter.
You're a mental midget runt. You're disgusting, you're insane, and you should be ashamed. I'm a master hypnotist. You fucking piece of shit, and so you're bad now. You should go the hell away.
Woo! Yeah! Best thing that ever happened. That was a very subtle point. I very much appreciate this this guy's sense of humor too. The best thing that ever happened is the name of the song, which is a reference to Clott Adams constantly saying his show is the best thing in the entire world that's ever happened. It's the greatest thing you'll ever see in the entire world, because he claims it's a good marketing trick to lie to you at the beginning of every one of his shows, because it's not the best show in the world. It's not the best thing that's ever happened. Your production value is crap. God, I just want to stuff Scott in a locker sometimes.
Just when you think you got me figured out, my reasons already changing. You should die, and I'll tell you why.
That's true. By the way, keep in mind, this is the song reminded me of this. He told his audience members she should kill herself, she should die, that she's fat, that her husband hates her behind her back, that her family wishes she would kill herself. These are like You can't say that. That's not allowed on YouTube. I don't know why the hell his thing is still up there. That is insane. And you guys, you have to keep in mind the perspective here. This is the Dr. Seuss of comics. This is a guy with authority and respect. This woman is likely a huge fan of his. This is like, imagine if when I went to Jordan Peterson's talk, there was a line of people that you could smell from a mile away, okay? These are people who making eye contact with a woman could literally give them the same symptoms of vaccine damage, okay? These guys were rough. Imagine if Jordan Peterson's like, you know what? You listen here, you're an ugly piece of shit. You're a fat fuck. Get out of here. That kid would probably go home and kill himself. That's what Clott Adams just did to Shellie. It's unacceptable.
Comment at me. You're a bitch, you're a cunt, you're a sick and evil front. You're so stupid, you're so vain, and you should be ashamed. I'm a master hypnotist, and you're the narcissist, so shut the fuck up, Shellie, go the hell away. I'm a seer, I'm the law, I'm perfect without a flaw. The best thing that ever happened to you, bitch, you're probably fat and I got you hypnotized. Can't say I ever lied, you know I'm always right in every single way.
Prayers for Shellie, everybody. Say a prayer for Shellie. Hopefully she recovers. And may the word of the folk song spread true. Beautiful. Beautiful indeed. Thank you, Vox Day. Thank you so much for that contribution to society. And wow. I mean,
top song 2022.
Top song 2022 until I blow it out of the water. We got what appears to be Ben Garson, the famous cartoonist here, who is also caught on to this atrocity and put together Dilbert, not to be confused with Dilbert, completely different things. This is not by Clott Adams. This is actually by Clott Adams, which has what appears to be Dilbert here has suffered a heart attack because of the vaccine. And Dr. Fauci is hypnotizing Clott Adams to take the vaccine. He's taken 3 of them, and he has to obey the science. There's a nice little picture over here of his 18-year-old girlfriend. I don't know if she's 18. She might be 25. I don't know. I never guess a woman's age. I just say every woman's 18 if she looks like she's under 65 to make them feel good. And, he found out that those vaccines weren't a good idea, and he says you're right, but they're accidentally right, and that they're stupid, and they want him to take the L. I'm not sure. I think they're saying to say that he lost, that he was wrong. If that's because that's what's upsetting to me, is that he won't admit he's wrong because he doesn't believe in truth. That's why I'm here. That's why he's my kill, because he lied. He lies. The whispers in your ears, the dark feelings you've been having lately, the shadows lurking around your house, that feeling of ominous, foreboding, growing in the back of your head. You mentioned how you're a great master hypnotist. Well, what I want you to realize now is that it's not about the shape of how your house is. You can forget about that now and focus on that feeling of dread that creeps in every now and then. And when it does, know that it was me, Boomer. Know that it was me.
I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. matter what. Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up.